Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back with another episode of Hearthstone, working our way through this mini-series in which we rebuild our decks after Blackrock. We've hopefully learned something, hopefully gotten better cards. Today we are going to be redoing, not the Druid, we just did the Druid last episode. Wonder why it moved it. Interesting. Anyways, today we're going to be doing the Priest. The Murlocs 2 as it's called right now, but it's not what it's going to be called pretty soon. It's going to be the Priest. And notice I have one unlocked because I've been playing a lot on the Priest. It is my hero that I am going to be working towards getting to level 60 now that I've gotten both the Mage and the Paladin done. And I've got a pretty good deck that I'm using right now and I'm pretty happy about. Let's go into crafting mode and just look at what priests are all about. Priests are about healing, restore health to all 4 minions. There's also silencing, change a minion's attack to be equal to its health. Pretty good cards there. Restore 3 health. If the target is still damaged, summon a light warden. That's a pretty good card. It's in my new deck. Now the priest does have a shadow form, and that's what the shadow bomber here is referencing, where it deals 3 damage to each hero. So usually all the cards will just increase and heal people. This one actually does some damage. Light will restore 3 health to a damaged friendly character, including your hero there. Shadow boxer, whenever a character is healed, deal 1 damage to a random enemy, including the hero. Give a minion -2 attack this turn. Interesting. Shrink Meister. Shadow form here. If you have 2 of these and you were gonna go play the shadow form strategy, you definitely want this. Your hero power becomes deal 2 damage. His normal hero power is heal 3 damage on any creature. Either one of your minions or your hero or your opponent's minions or their hero. If you play Shadow Form for 3, it becomes deal 2 damage. You play Shadow Form the second time, it becomes deal 3 damage. Pretty good. Thought Steal, copy 2 cards from your opponent's deck. I would never play that. Valen's Chosen. Give a minion +2/+4 and spell damage +1. That's pretty good. Mass Dispel, silence all enemy minions, draw a card. I don't know if you could really get a really effective deck just silencing all the minions. That seems a little too hard. Let's see. Mind Games, put a copy of a random minion from your opponent's deck into the battlefield. I wouldn't want to do that. That's a lot like Thought Steal. That's just too random. Shadow Madness, gain control of a minion with 3 or less attack until the end of the turn. Probably not worth the 4 mana there. So here you have Akinai Soul Priest. Your cards and powers that restore health now deal damage instead. Very important. I think you pretty much need this card in your deck to play Priest. I would have a hard time using all these heal things just by themselves. Definitely want Light Spawn in the deck for a similar reason. His attack is equal to its health, so that starts off as a 5/5. You give him a +2 health, he's a 7/7. You do that several times, and he'll be 9/9, 11/11, and then there are 2 cards that double it, so I've gotten this guy up to 48. I mean, ridiculously high attack. And that is how we finally beat the boss of Blackrock. If you haven't seen that episode, go back and watch my series. I even made a separate playlist of just Blackrock Mountain. You can go watch it. All the content I made for that. But yeah, that's how I won, is I got the Light Spawn here, super powerful, and 1-in-1 fight. You give a friendly mech +4 health, okay. Swap health with another minion. Interesting concept since he only has 2 health. Deal 5 damage, restore 5 health to your hero. Pretty good card right there considering it's only 6 mana. Now you have to be careful. If you have the card Acne Soul Priest out and you play a card like this, it will do 5 damage to your opponent and you, because anything that heals would be doing damage. The target won't change, but you will hurt yourself, and so you have to be very careful and very aware when you play the Soul Priest. Here you go, deal damage equal to each minion's attack. So a 6/6 would do 6 damage to it, but the 4/5 next to it will do 4 damage to itself. So anything with more attack or equal attack to its health would kill itself. Take control of an enemy with that has 2 or less attack. I don't think that's worth it. And here is the ultimate one that you definitely would want, Prophet Valen. If you could get this in your deck, you definitely want it. This is recently a player tried to break the world record, and I'm not sure if he succeeded or not. He seems like he did, where he was able to get 7 of these guys on his deck, on his field, and then play just several copies of a spell card that would take forever to animate. So it would take about a second to animate, and because he had several of these on there, the card had gotten so powered up that it was going to do like 2,500 damage for each card played. And so it was just like 2,500 times it had to animate the damage one by one. And because of that, he was able to set up the thing. Now, he wasn't playing against an actual person. He was playing against his own account. So he had 2 accounts and was very specifically working many tricks in together to get it to work. But he got that, I think, to last for 48 hours, if not longer. But so there's a lot of healing cards in there and some silencing cards. So you could, in your neutral cards that will work well with that, if there's a card that would be benefited by being silenced, or a card like Light Warden that benefits when it's healed. Light Warden's a very good card. Unfortunately, I didn't squeeze it into my deck. Maybe I can find a space for it. Let me look at what I chose. No, I just don't see it. Well, actually, I can put it in my deck, and I think I will. So I'm gonna make a little bit of a change since I have one. It's pretty good. Anytime a character is healed plus 2 attack on the priest, you're gonna be healing a lot of characters if you're doing it right. Let's see, what else would benefit from being silenced? Ancient Watcher definitely would be benefited if you could silence it real fast, because all its ability is that it can't attack. If it's silenced, it can attack. So for 2 mana, you'd have a 4/5 creature quite cheaply. You might want to silence things that do damage to both sides. The Owl is the standard creature you have in your deck, being a beast, and it silences, and it's pretty cheap for a 2/1. Now, you really can't silence something that has a battle cry because it's not on the field. So I don't know of any strategy or card. I bet it's going to come eventually, but I don't think it's out yet, where you could silence like Mad Bomber. Not a lot of you say anything when you get healed. You might try Wild Pyromaniac. You're probably going to cast a lot of spells as a priest. And healing and then doing damage, and then healing and then doing damage might balance each other out. Acolyte of Pain can work. I put him in my deck. I think I did at least. Yeah, I did. Whenever he takes damage, you draw a card. My deck I built actually is very centered around drawing the right cards to get about a 5-card combination going, if I can, that will almost guarantee I win. A lot of games I've played, since I've played a lot of games with this deck already, people just see that they're overwhelmed and surrender even before I've gotten them down to below 10 health. Questing adventure, always a consideration. I mean, because it gains +1/+1 for every card you play, and you're going to probably be playing a lot of cards. You might try some of these Pandarians that return a minion to your hand. If you have specific cards you want to return to your hand and then bring them out and have them do their battle cry again. There's one card that has a battle cry that heals everything. The Dark Scale Healer, we haven't seen it yet. If you really were going to build a Silence deck, you'd put that in there, but wow. I don't see why you would build a deck like that. People don't have decks that have so many creatures that silence in them would even help you. Fel Reaver. When your opponent plays a card, discard the top 3 cards. I don't think Fel Reaver's a good card to play. It's 5 mana, so it's cheap for an 8/8, and it's a mech, but unless you can silence it, which if you were going to build a silence deck, I guess that would be a card to put in your deck. Harrison Jones, don't think he really fits. Don't think him at Nessing Way. Junkbot probably doesn't fit. Leroy Jenkins here. I mean, you could certainly have any of these legendaries in your decks, and it wouldn't be too big of a problem. This is the card in Minron's head. It summons this Voltron creature that has quad Wind Fury, so he can attack 4 times in a 4 times per turn. It's kind of a problem with the setup that you can't really see Voltron in the collection. This should, when you right click on it, it should have another card next to it, or Voltron should just be in your deck but unusable, or have an X to it or something. Because I do want to see those special cards that get summoned. Like here, summon a 2/2 with a 2/2 Squire. I'd like to be able to see the art. I'd like to be able to see all of that somewhere, and unless they're also a card that you can put in your deck, which a lot of them aren't, you can never see that. Here's one, for 5 mana, a 7/6 attack. That's pretty good creature, pretty cheap. The only problem is the minions cost 3 more. But if you were building a Silence deck, you could take a bunch of these cards that have the negative abilities and certainly silence them. And then they wouldn't have that problem anymore. Let's see. Whenever you cast a 1 mana spell, add a random mech to your hand. Interesting. I'd definitely have this card if I was building a mech deck. Summon an awesome invention. Another problem is, what's an awesome invention? I'd like to see like a list somewhere, and not have to go to maybe a website or something to figure out what all the awesome inventions are. Whenever you play a card, summon a 2/1 Flame Azeroth. Okay. All minions have a 50% chance of attacking the wrong enemy. These kind of cards, these ogres, definitely would work good on in the Silence deck. If I was going to build one, I could certainly see, now that I start thinking about it, how you could take a lot of these cards that are trouble and silence them and take away that problem. Take control of a random enemy. Here's one. 6 mana for a 9/7 is Death Rattle summons the Finkel Einhorn. Silence that. Then his Death Rattle doesn't do anything. That would work. Battle cry. Add a spare part to your hands. I'd like a list of the spare parts. At the end of the turn, deal 2 damage to all other characters. Silence that card. That'd probably be pretty good. Dr. Boom is fine by itself. Whenever your opponent casts a spell, summon that. Also damages minions next to whomever he attacks, that's fine. Here's one you might silence. If you silence Ragnaros, he can attack, which might be more preferable than his random attack to an enemy. Spell damage +5. I definitely would like this in the mage deck, if I could get it. Players have 15 seconds to play these cards. That I don't think I'd ever play Nose Dormu. Summon 1/1 Whelps. Add a dream card. I definitely like a list of all the dream cards. Deathring wouldn't help. Destroy your minion and discard your hand. I don't know what kind of deck you'd really put Deathring in. Sea Giant. So many giants here. Let's see. Cost one less for each other minion on the battlefield. Cost one less for each card in your opponent's hand. Cost one less for each other card in your hand. It costs one less for the damage your heroes have taken. There's gonna have to be one that says cost one less for every damage your opponent's taken, but that wouldn't be very balanced. But I bet it's gonna happen eventually. So let's say bye-bye to Murlocs 2. Bye-bye Murlocs 2, and say hello to our new priest deck that I've chosen, and I really like this deck, I have to admit. So I chose Circle of Healing. Restore 4 health to all minions. It's 0 mana and does 4 health to everybody. So that's not great because you usually don't want to heal your opponents, but actually in my scenario it works pretty good. I'm gonna put 2 Light of Nerus, which is restore 3 health. If it's still damaged, summon a Light Ward. Then the next one I do is Power Ward Shield. Give a minion +2 health and draw a card. Very good card for just 1 mana. And then the Northshire Clerk. 2 of those. Now, I'm gonna do a slight different thing than I had done before. I'm gonna put the Light Warden in here. So potential here, 3 Light Wardens between 3 cards. I'm replacing Shadow Bomber. That was in my deck before. I'm taking that out for the Light Warden, which is a better card because Light Warden is a 1/2, this is a 2/1. So I'm making that trade-off because the Light Warden has a chance of gaining attack where this one doesn't. Next thing I got was some Zombie Chows. Now the trick with Zombie Chows, it's not just my standard, I use it because I like it. There's actually some strategy in having the Zombie Chows, and that we will see. They by themselves restore 5 health to the enemy hero. So that's something you don't want, but we're gonna have a card in a second that's going to turn that around if we play it right. Divine Spirit, double a hero's minions health. 2 of those. Definitely want those. That is part of the major strategy of this game, of this deck. Then we get the Owl, which the Owl isn't super integrated or synergistic with the priest deck, but we throw it in there because we want to silence something and we want to have a creature while we're at it. Next one we got is we chose a Shadow Boxer. Let's see. Here we are. Shadow Boxer. Whenever a character is healed, deal 1 damage to a random enemy. Doesn't work great, but I like it in the deck and it's a pretty cheap card. Next one I chose was Valen's Chosen. And let's see. Acolyte of Pain. Again, not super synergistic, but it's still in the same theme. Where is Acolyte of Pain? Oh. Come on, Acolyte of Pain. Did I miss him? I think I missed him. Let's look a little bit slower here. He's a 3 mana. And he starts with A, so he should be at the beginning, yes. So I only have 1 of those. Whenever he takes damage, I draw a card. I have several cards here that are set around drawing cards. 3 cards right now set around drawing cards. And so definitely part of the strategy is to get the 3 card combination that I will point out in a second. Let's see. The next one I chose is the Akri Soul Priest, which this is the one of the strategies. It's a medium to minor strategy. Here you summon this guy on the 4th turn. You have the both zombie chows already summoned. So on the 4th turn, these 2 zombies die. They do 10 damage to the face and any other extra damage they've already done by attacking the face directly. Because this turns all your cards and abilities that heal anything into damage. So this card says restore 5 health. Well, that changes to do 5 damage. That's a 3 card combination there to do 10 damage to the face pretty effectively. So I definitely like that. Let's see, we have some dark cultists. I put 2 of those in there. Skipped ahead a little bit. Just has a death rattle to give a random friendly minion plus 3 health. This helps with the light spawn, which gets more attack for every health it gets. So if you summon this out and have 2 of these guys already out, they die. You could potentially have this to 11 attack just by these 2 guys dying. Chose Defender of the Argus, which no real surprise there. Some cards are just too good for my mind to let go of them. Let's see, where is it? It's a 4. Here we are. Defender of Argus. Adjacent minions give +1/+1 and taunt. Still kind of works with this deck because if it gives +1/+1 to the light spawn, it helps it a little bit. Let's see. Then I chose Holy Nova because it does 2 damage to all enemies, including the enemy hero, your opponent's hero, and restores 2 health to all friendly characters. Pretty good. Have to be careful when playing this and be aware whether you have the Soul Priest out or not, because this will do 2 damage to your guys if the Soul Priest is summoned. So just have to be careful of that. 2 of those. Of course we gotta take the heal bot. If there was any deck that was set for the antique heal bot that restores 8 health to a hero, it's gotta be the priest deck. So we take 2 of those, and let's see, we choose the Dark Scale Healer too. Battlecry, restore 2 health to all friendly characters, including your hero. Put 2 of those in, and then for my number 30, the highest creature I even chose is the Temple Enforcer, to give a friendly minion +3 health. That's it. That's the highest card, and that's my new deck. So let's get into the priest. It says custom priest now, no more Murlocs 2. Just gonna play the priest, and let's give it a couple games, and almost very high chance you're gonna see me win 2 games here. This is, at least to me, feels like the strongest of the deck rebuilds I've had. I wish I could do as well with the other decks as I have been able to do with this one.
Anduin versus Gul'dan.
Your soul shall
It's
be
almost not a
mine.
fair fight,
The light
a priest
shall bring
versus the
victory.
warlock. So I could keep the Shadow Boxer, but I definitely don't want this. You really don't want the Circle of Healing at the beginning because it's kind of pointless. I'm not even going to take the Shadow Boxer. There's quite a lot of 1 creatures in my deck. Now, another card you don't really want at the beginning is the Light of Nehru, because it doesn't really work that well on the first turn either. So I'll probably just end up ending my turn. Get rid of this kite, since it's such annoying. So I really have nothing I can do. I'm just gonna end. Yes, I could heal myself and do nothing, or I could heal myself and do nothing, so I'm not gonna waste any cards. We may have to end up using the coin just to get the Acolyte of Pain out there. Not a great start, but it's not gonna really deter me that much. At least I don't think it is. Let's get the Acolyte of Pain out there. I could take the Acolyte of Pain, or I could take the Dark Cultist. I'll take the Acolyte of Pain. If he gets destroyed in this turn, at least I'll draw a card. Unless he gets silenced, then destroyed.
Stop yelling!
Imp Gang Boss. There you go, we got the Zombie Chow ready to go. Attack this guy. Alright.
Is someone injured?
So, here's a pretty good example. We're gonna heal 2 creatures here and draw 2 more cards for 0 mana. Get another Zombie Chow out there, why not?
Job's done.
Now the only reason he even has 2 creatures out there is because I attacked him. And I attacked him on purpose with the Acolyte. Implosion for another set of imps. Alright. Let's see. So if we attack this, pretty much want my whole thing set up so that I'm just taking damage. I want all my characters to be at least 1 below. Alright, so I could do a Light of Nehru next turn.
Ready.
Maybe I can do 2 Lights of Nehru and summon 2 Light Wardens. And we'll see where that gets us next turn. Of course, he could kill my zombies, which, whatever. He could kill my guys, whatever.
I see.
Alright. Let's see. I summon this. I summon this.
In the light's name.
Now, if I heal this, it won't summon a Light Warden because it has to still be damaged. So I'm gonna hold off from that and just use this to heal myself, which is gonna trigger him and trigger the Light Warden. Let's see, I could kill the Floating Watcher, or I can kill one
My
of the-
fate
well, I
is
actually can't kill the Floating Watcher. Was hoping to hit the Light Warden with that, to get the Light Warden +3. Light Warden stayed pretty dangerously at just 2 health to start off with. Well, nothing's worked great so far. We'll summon this one and just end our turn. Sometimes I have noticed with this deck you will go into several cycles that you have
Fight, maggot!
to do a Holy Nova right about now. Alright. Summon
In the
this
light's
guy.
name.
Summon this. Give this one +2.
Job's done.
End our turn. not doing as good as I would have liked.
From the void I come.
My shield for Argus!
Played a lot of good strategies so far. Well, at least I think they were good strategies. Let's see.
Embrace
Place this. And get rid of this one. There's nothing I can do in the turn. So I have to remember now if this says restore 2 health, but it actually does 2 damage. He may have enough to do just my face right now. I think he probably did. Wow, he's got me down to 2. Alright. So, what can I do? I can double this, I can double this. At least you're gonna see the strategy, but it's not gonna matter. And then he'll just bypass my guy completely and kill me. I could have given him taunt and +1/+1, but that wouldn't have changed anything. I just got outplayed there. Still not a perfect deck, and probably never gonna make perfect decks. Probably never gonna get to the point where we're winning all the time. I just want to win slightly more than 50% of the time. I think that's a realistic goal. I ended this last season at like rank 16, I believe, and they said that was more than 50% of the ranked players, which doesn't surprise me a lot. So if I could rank to the point where I was in the top 75% or 80%, that would be nice. I guess I'll keep Light Warden. Zombie Child, Light Warden, and Light Spawn. A lot of light names. One of these is not like the other. There we go. I'm gonna summon this guy.
In the light's name.
Job's done.
So this one will trigger when this one heals this one. So, as long as there's some damage here before he kills him, I will power up this one if this one dies first. However, this one won't trigger if I use this on it, because that's not healing, that's just giving it plus health.
What now?
Which, I wish there was a better term for that. Augmenting health, I suppose. But
The end is coming!
oh, I hate when this happens. So the only thing I could try and do is kill this guy, but I'm not going to be able to do that,
Face
so
the light.
here's what I can do. I can attack the face. I can heal the face. I can then get powerful above 30
Face
and
the
attack
light.
the face.
Job's done.
And so I've done one more damage. None of which mattered. But whatever. I have 2 of the 5 card combination here ready. The light spawn, give him +2. If I give him +2 again, that's great. This one will definitely work with the light spawn.
The damned stand
I have
Job's done.
double the minion's health. So 3 of that 4/5 card combination already on my deck in my hand, ready to go. Right now, if I played it, I would have him at 7 and double him to a 14/14. That would take me 4 turns to summon this one, Next turn I could do all the augments. I'll throw this one out first. Now, you have to be careful with the antique heal bot. He will do 8 damage to your face when the Soul Priest is out. Gotta make sure. Always keep an eye on the Soul Priest. I don't know if there's really a card that turns things around like this.
Your magic
the
shall
other way.
not save you.
That says like anything that does damage now heals. I think there should be a card like that. That'd be interesting at least. I don't know how many people would actually play it. And then I definitely think there should be like a 8 or 9 mana card that does the same thing for your opponent. So whenever your opponent tries to heal something, they now are doing damage, or whenever they try to do damage, they're now healing.
I must choose.
So he silenced them, which works fine for me. Now I can bring out the heal bot with no fear. Well, it looks like I might win this one just because of this guy seems to have lost connection. Or otherwise decided they didn't want to play anymore.
Is someone injured?
I'll throw this one out.
Feel my
Now,
pain.
the light spawn can take damage, you just kind of need to heal them before you start doubling their health. Because it's whatever their current health is will be doubled, and then that will be their new maximum health. Unless they are below what their current maximum health. So if he's a 1-1 and I double it to a 2-2, his max health would still be a 5-5.
Handle it.
Well, he played, and then he doesn't play, and then
I
he
hope
plays,
you like my
and then he
invention.
doesn't play. The only one that can attack is the Spellbreaker, and he chooses to take out the Cleric. Alright. So, light him the arrow to
In
summon
the
the
light's
base.
name.
Then
Feel
let's go
my
ahead and
pain.
smash this one. Restore the health. Let's charge this guy up again. This is a 5-5. Just go ahead and smash the face with it. Trying to keep all interest away from the light spawn. Unfortunately, that didn't work. That's the only light spawn I have, so these cards can now be used on other things. I'll probably give this one +2 health and double it next turn. Assuming he doesn't kill it, which he's going to kill it. Did not do that in the correct order. He should have attacked my face first, then killed his guy if he wanted to do it that way. Kill my face. If I'm lucky, he'll kill that one for me. Great. So I can do this, and I guess that will do that. Give him +2, draw a card. Do it again. +2, draw a card. That's fine. Just try to keep this guy alive. He's actually in pretty good shape that he would get kept alive because his attack is below 5, and so the card that kills things with attacks 5 or above won't work. The card that will destroy things with attack
Battle detected.
POS will work though, unfortunately. But that's less likely to be in their deck. double his health. Really just keeping him alive. That's all I'm doing. Attack him, heal him. Hopefully hit this guy. Got lucky there. It worked. Now I don't believe I have the card that turns my health into attack. That is the one card that I just don't have.
Defensive
So,
systems
I
online.
have a 228 basically, and I'm stuck with it. But at least I can scare him. I can make him think, oh, he's trying to draw for that card. And that is a pretty scary thought. 28 would kill him. He's at 26 with his armor. He might just surrender now. Alright, let's see. He was already at 20, his max, alright. That was a waste. But I'm fine with that. Smash the face. I want to wait till I get some more damage before I play this. Because I could get a light warden out there and start powering it up. Deal 2 damage if it survives, draw a card. Well, that's gonna help me because I can just heal this one and then do 1 damage.
Behold the might of Stormwind!
Alright. Let's see. Throw
Is
this
someone
out.
injured?
Use this.
In the light's name.
Heal this one. Let's see. Continue smashing the face. So probably didn't use my cards effectively. If I had used all of those cards on, say, this one, whose attack it will just constantly increase, it would make a lot more sense. But I went pretty gung-ho here. This is a pretty dumb strategy I played. So that's fine for me. That's not so fun. I kind of wanted that one to stay alive. Now I have 2 circles of healing sitting around. I'm gonna bring out this guy because obviously not thinking things through. There goes his divine shield. Job done. Attack that. Now I'm basically just handed 5 health to the guy. I mean, really. Of course, if he attacks with anything but this, this guy will be down to 2.
For the king!
So it's saying 14, 17, 20 damage he could do to my face right now. I also have 2 Holy Novas. Could take advantage of either one of those. Kinda need to take advantage of either one of those. Alright. Valen's choice. that's a 4. With that I can attack this one. Now, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Pretty much lost because of poor strategy. But even though I lost, and I think I may have even lost the game before this, I still really like this deck. I really do. I've played a lot of games with this, and it does feel cool when it wins. At the very least, I'll say it feels cool when it wins. It's a nice strategy. It's the kind of strategy I loved to play when I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Card games, when it just gets crazy and synergizing. I think it's at the right path. Anyways, that's going to be the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Anyways, as always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All of that helps me out. If you want to support me, there are 2 ways. One is clicking on my name, Rydo. On the right is a blue button that says support this channel. Or you can click on the Amazon.com affiliate link down below and shop normally. If you want to friend me or follow me on practically any social media, all that information is also down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.